Hi, welcome to Anything is Possible. My name is Tamara, and I live at Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's the first time, welcome. And at the end of this video, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with friends, and comment if you want. Ask me questions, or if you have anything that you want me to talk about in the future, leave a comment there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like actually being a single person flying solo here at Lake Chapala. I can't speak for other areas of Mexico, and I can't speak for anything other than what it's like to be a female within weeks of turning 70. I had 17-year marriage and another really significant relationship, and those are in the past now. And that's one of the reasons why I had the freedom to move here. It doesn't involve the decision of any other person than myself. My animals did not get a choice. So I have to also say that I don't really feel single, because I have a family, and my family has 4 legs and fur, lots of social activities, but I am an introvert, and I'm hearing impaired, and I tend to kind of just stick to myself a lot. I enjoy my own company, I enjoy gardening, and I enjoy little home improvement projects and going for walks. A lot of people, they have very different interests. They're very active, out kayaking and having dinner with people and socializing and going out for drinks and golfing. And it's just what your reality is, what you make it. And this is my reality. It's kind of solitary with a few close friends and my animals and my hobbies and my garden, and I'm creating my little Shangri-La here, and that's what makes me happy. So I think people are really worried about possibly coming here and not knowing anyone and being lonely and wishing they hadn't come, and I can pretty much guarantee that that's not going to happen. You're going to have whatever life you want to create here. This area, there's so many people. I could just message them on Facebook or WhatsApp or give them a ring, and within minutes I'd have somebody I could go do something with. It's just wonderful how quickly you can make friends here, and how close they are, and people that are eager to do things with you. You're going to have as many friends as you want. So you don't need to feel like you're going to be sitting around by yourself with nothing to do and no people to talk to. Now, with that said, I have to say, I chose this area on purpose to start with, because I know that there's a lot of other gringos, and my Spanish is not good enough to be able to be friends with Mexicans yet. I can carry on a little bit of conversation and a little bit, but not really to the point where I could have a heartfelt conversation and pour out my inner thoughts to anybody, or them to me either. So it may get that point, and if it does, I may not stay in this area. It's getting very crowded and very expensive, and but I didn't want to be in some little village where I didn't know the language and I had nobody I could talk to. And quite honestly, a lot of Mexicans really do not understand why a single woman would move here all by herself, away from family and friends. They don't get it, because family and friends is everything to them, and I don't think most of them would dream of leaving. For the first time in my life, I am not planning for anyone else but me. It is really revolutionary. The times that I have found myself single in the past, I was always seeking a relationship. I was always making decisions as if there would be someone else in my life in the future. Things like buying a king-size bed, buying two of things, making sure that my decor was not too frilly and feminine, which I don't tend to do that too much anyway, but I always tended to kind of tone things down a little bit in case, I ended up with some guy in my life that was like, kind of cringing at some of the decisions I made. Don't take into account anything else. And if something happens in the future, some fluke, somebody comes along and I fall head over heels, well, that's fine too. Then we'll adapt. But at this point, I got a queen-size bed, which is perfect for me and my two dogs, and there's not room for another person on the bed. I figure after decades of kind of planning my life around being a couple, it's kind of refreshing just to say, you know what, especially living here, and we'll get into that, the odds of my finding someone else are really pretty slim. So I'm not looking, and it would have to be a real fluke for me to actually run into somebody that I felt was compatible, and that I would want to share my life. Now, the possibility is always open that I could go out to dinner and go places with people, but that hasn't happened either. All of my friends are women, and most of them are single women that find themselves in similar situation. They've had a life before. A lot of them had kids, and now they're on their own and kind of very happy just to be alone. So I know virtually no available single men, straight. Now, I know quite a lot of gay men. There is a very big gay community here amongst the men. I don't really know any gay females, but there are a lot of gay men. And there are married couples here. Once in a while, I'll run into a single man. I only can remember one occasion where one was acting interested, and I was just not interested at all. He was well over 10 years older than me, and his health was very poor. I have to just sort of say, you know what, this is the last part of my life here is all about me. So there are a lot of single women in similar situation to me, I would say. Some of them are totally done with men. They don't even care at all. Not even open to a relationship. I'm not like that. I'd be open, but it would have to be somebody exceptional. And as far as men coming here, I would have to say that, the odds are very good that you'd find somebody if you're going to move down here. You have to hang out with the kind of people that do the kind of things that you want to do, and I'm going to get into that next in terms of what's available here. But it's good to have a common interest. Of activities that you might find if you come down here, there's pretty much anything. Anything that you're currently interested in, or anything that you have wanted to try but haven't, there's opportunities for that too. So especially if you're retired, there's tons of time to, just set your priority that you're going to try something new. So here's just a sampling of things that you can do here. There's, of course, kayaking on the lake, quite an active kayaking group. There's a hiking group. Of course, there's golf courses. Pickleball, and there's several pickleball courts here, and you can either just go and play pickleball or you can take lessons. There's tons of music and concerts. I mean, every day of the week you can find a venue where there's a concert or a live band. Um, Often at local restaurants they'll have live music, and um, often really good local bands. And of course, in terms of classical music, there's just a wide array of things happening throughout the week where you can go and listen to music, free or for a small fee. Nothing here is ever very expensive, but there's a very good local symphony, and there's other um, classical groups that play. There's jazz, there's rock and roll, you name it. Um, in terms of art, this is a very, very artsy community. So it's just chock full of artists of all type. Um, and there's classes given all the time if you want to learn how to paint or need inspiration. There's a group called the Urban Sketchers that go out. I think it's once a week. And they go out and they sketch, some of them with watercolors. I think they have 1 hour where they go to a setting together, kind of a field trip. They go and they pick something in that vicinity of where they've chosen, and sit down and sketch. Of course, there's local pools. I think they're the ones I mostly know about. They're all indoor, heated. The one I used to go to in Riberas was an indoor saline pool, which was just lovely, and I went to aqua aerobics there 2 days a week, and it was a real workout, very reasonably priced. And then there's a photography group, so they go out and they post on Facebook, pictures that they've taken, but also I believe they go out on little ventures here and there to do photography together. I don't know if they have a lecture. I haven't done that one, but anyway, if you're a shutterbug, there's people here that want to do that too. I had to hop on here as I was editing. I realized I completely left out theater. There is a very large community of people involved in live theater here. There's 2 active live theaters that either you can just go and attend. There's always ongoing productions of various different types. So if you're interested in acting, if you've never acted before, or if you're a polished actor, there is just an amazing variety of talent here lakeside, and they're always welcome and open to people joining. There's also vocal productions that the theaters put on, and also if you're just in some sort of support role, costuming, lighting, sound, whatever, they're always looking for people and always open. Oh, I also forgot, there's always Guadalajara. There's people, you can get friends together and do a carload of people, go to Guadalajara, or hire a driver, take you to Guadalajara, spend a day shopping, eating out, seeing the city. Go to a concert in the evening in Guadalajara, go to a show. Guadalajara is the second biggest city in Mexico. It's huge, and there's always things going on there. So, if you get kind of tired of the one-horse town thing here, all I have to say, a lot of it's world-class one horse. They're champion horses. So, I don't know, I love it here. It just suits me just fine. But some people really thrive on the excitement of a big city, so it's there if you want it. And of course, the airport, if you want to fly out anywhere, it's a good airport, and it has lots of connections. So there's just all kinds of social groups. If you get on Facebook, there's people that get together and play cards or board games, or I'm sure there is a bridge club, and I heard of a cribbage group, and just all kinds. There's a friend down the street that they get together, her and a few friends, and they play Rummy Cube, and then they go out to lunch. So you can just get together with people and do it. But the easiest way to meet people, I would say, I found was, first off, if you live in Ajijic, the Lake Chapala Society is just a wonderful place. I belong to it just because I love supporting them. They have live concerts frequently in the Lake Chapala Society grounds in the evenings. There's a cafe there that's privately owned, but it's within the grounds, and you can go anytime there and go get something to eat and get a cup of coffee or a little bite to eat, a little lunch, and there's often somebody singing or playing the guitar, or a group. They have groups in the evening, actually, that they pay, and there's always people there. So it's a real hangout, and you can just go and pick up a conversation with somebody. Often people are there alone, and I'm sure they'd be perfectly happy to start chatting with you. So there's also a place called Mel's Social Club, and that's in Ajijic also. I have never been to that, but I believe they have a pool, and they have all kinds of social activities going on. It's supposed to be a real meeting place for all kinds of people also. And then if you're in Chapala, the American Legion is quite a hangout, and they have all kinds of things offered there too. And quite honestly, if there isn't something that you find that you want that's already available, you can always just start a group of your own. And there's several different Facebook groups where you can publicize things like that. There's one called Friendly Gringos. Another is, Everything Lakeside, I believe. I'll post what they are down below, but you can join those, and that's where things get announced a lot also. And of course, there's tons of opportunities for volunteer work here. There's animal rescues, and there's fostering, always a need for fostering. And there's orphanages. There's boys and girls orphanages here that always need people to help volunteer. And either fundraising or with website work or just getting together with the kids and doing stuff. There's just tons of opportunities for that. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm not touching on. If you get involved with a local church, they probably have activities that you can volunteer to help with also that get you involved with the local community for the benefit of everyone. So in terms of learning, of course, there's local Spanish classes. There's art classes, and there's like music classes you can take, and voice lessons, and like I said, art classes. And I'm sure any of the local photography buffs would be happy to help you if you want to hone your photography skills. It just depends. And then there's actually businesses here that conduct local trips. And they generally are not horribly expensive, but often there are multiple days to other parts of Mexico. So you can get on, I guess they charter a bus. I have not been on one, but there's one that I would really love to go see, the monarch butterflies when they come, and that's in spring. And I would just love to go on that. I have to arrange what to do with my pets, but there's bus trips all over Mexico, and you'll go with a group of local people here, and pretty much all gringos, I'm sure, and just go and explore some of the other beautiful areas in Mexico. And you don't have to drive; you can just go, and they have the arrangements all made for you where you're going to stay and the meals you're going to eat, and they do a really good job, from what I understand. So, let's see, in events, as I mentioned before, there's concerts all the time. Just doesn't take much to find concerts here. And art shows, so usually those are posted on the local general Facebook pages for gringos. And so local artists put on exhibitions, and sometimes there's charity events, live auctions or silent auctions, and a dinner. And so there's all kinds of things happening here all the time. And you get together and you start seeing familiar faces. And I have to say that making friends here is extremely easy. Most people here have been through quite a bit to get here. A lot of us, we sold our homes and got rid of things and moved down here, especially the people that aren't the snowbirds. We live here now. This is our home. And there's something about the people that actually go through that that just, we're kind of a different breed of cats, And so just right off the bat, it's pretty easy to make friends, that you have already that in common, that you had this vision and this dream and you saw it through. Walking is just great. Everybody walks quite a lot here. It's not easy because of, the uneven pavement and the cobblestones. So like I said in one of my previous videos, if you've got a handicap or in your wheelchair or a walker, it's not impossible, but it's going to be really challenging to get around here. So I would have to say that walking is just, it's just a way of life. I don't get in my car unless it's something that's, well over a mile away. I'll just walk, take my grocery bag and walk down the street and get my groceries at the local tienda. Or the little meat market that's near me. It's just, he doesn't have a wide variety, but he's got, it's fresh and it's good. So you can visit the Malacones, which are quite handicap accessible, I would say. I think most of them have handicap ramps, and they're very level and flat. They're well paved, and they're lit at night. And they're just beautiful. They're all right along the lakeside, and so you can look out at the water. And they have benches, so you can sit and just find a shady spot and just enjoy the peacefulness of the lake and the water birds and, the wonderfulness of living here. And cycling is great here because there's a bike lane. It's a whole separate little highway, actually, that goes the full length of the lake not the full length of the lake. It goes from Chapala all the way to Hokatepec. And I think it's continuous. It goes through, from Chapala through, Riberas and San Antonio, Ajijic, and it goes to San Juan Cosala, and it goes on to Hoko. So you have to be a little alert, and it's good to wear kind of bright clothing because there's a lot of areas where the cars cross the bike path, and they're not always on the lookout for bicyclists. So it's up to the bicyclist to be really aware of what's going on. But it is possible to ride your bike. It's nice and level. It's well maintained. Now, mountain biking, I would say no. If you're into that, I don't believe there's any real serious mountain biking paths here. But in terms of using it for exercise or for transportation, you can use the bike path, and it's great. So there's lots of museums. There's historical museums. There's art museums. There's art galleries. And of course, there's shopping, along the Malacone and Chapala, there's lots of handcrafted items. Of course, the tianguis, which are the open-air markets that are held locally, they have everything you might want. Sewing notions. They have food already cooked. They have meat and fish and produce and clothing. And of course, dining with friends. I get together at least once a week, often more than that, with people to go out for lunch or go out for dinner. There are just, oh, I've been to maybe one or two that I thought were kind of mediocre, but by and large, they are just outstanding. The food here is just world class. And if you like street food, oh my gosh, I mean, the food is just excellent, prepared by hand right in front of you. And there's, at the square in San Antonio, I found it's like from 7 o'clock on in the evening is when all the little tables get set up and people can set up all kinds of little stalls. And I was there last night, and there's a great ice cream store there, and we got that. And then my friend and I were leaving, and this lady came and set up a table with all kinds of flan and cake and, homemade. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it if you're a single person or even if you're not a single person. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.